She's 14 points away from becoming the 23rd Trojan women's basketball player to join that 1,000-point club at Dakota State University. She's got 986 points at DSU. 14 points away from her. We'll be watching that one. And then Savannah Walsdorf, she's currently 7th all-time on the scoring list with 1,400 points. She's 4 shy of surpassing Kylie Westover for 6th all-time on the scoring list. So Savannah Walsdorf and LCS Leeson could definitely be moving up on those record boards for the Dakota State Trojans. I could definitely see 14 points coming from S. Leeson, more than 7 or 8 for Walsdorf. Trojans 14th in the NAIA and 79.1 points per game as well, so it's going to be a really good matchup tonight here for Bellevue and Dakota State. We're going to take our first break here on the F&M pregame show, brought to you by F&M Co-op Oil in Madison. For new tires and tire repair, see the experienced team at F&M in Madison. We're going to take our first break. We'll come back. We'll take a look at starting lineups on the way next year. 3 minutes at KJM. And welcome back to our F&M pregame show here on Jammin' Country 103. Let's take a look at starting lineups here for tonight's matchup between the Bellevue Bruins and the Dakota State Trojans. We'll start with the visiting Bellevue Bruins, starting at guard, the senior, 5'8" from Washington, D.C., number 0, Asha Scott. Also at guard, the sophomore, 5'5" from Tulsa, Oklahoma, number 4, Taylor DeMint. At guard, sophomore, 5'11" from Clovis, California, number 20, Ashton Arnold. At forward, the graduate from 5'10" from Bellevue, North Nebraska, number 21, Laura Jurek. And at guard, the graduate, 5'8" from Council Bluffs, Iowa, number 33, Miranda Hennings. And your starters for your Dakota State Trojans, starting at guard, the senior, 5'8" from Corsica, South Dakota, number 3, Courtney Menning. Starting at forward, 6 foot tall from Kiel, Wisconsin, the junior, number 14, Savannah Walsdorf. The senior, forward/center, 6'1" from Howard, South Dakota, number 20, LCS Leeson. At guard, the sophomore, 6 foot tall from Stillwater, Minnesota, number 25, Lily Mackley. And the sophomore guard, 5'7" from Alexandra, South Dakota, number 31, Morgan Huber. And those are your starting lineups for tonight's matchup. That's been your F&M pregame show here on Jammin' Country 103. They're getting ready to take to court. Let's take a brief pause for the legal ID. Get you ready for tip-off on the way next here after the legal ID on Jammin' Country.
Your pet
And welcome in to Madison Discount Liquor Broadcast booth. And looks like a little lineup change, actually. Instead of Lily Mackley starting, it's going to be Sydney Fick, the forward, 6 foot tall from Beaver Creek, Minnesota, starting tonight in place for Mackley. So it's a very strong defensive unit that they got on the court right now. Both teams out there for the tip. Ball's up, batted back by Leeson. Trojans win the tip. Menning going to pass it to the right wing to Fick. Fick top of the key, Leeson. Leeson hands it off to Walsdorf. Now outside Huber. Huber drives inside the paint, gets to the low post, looking to pass it. No, she's going to pull up. She's going to miss that shot. No good there. Try putting that one in with the right hand. Rebounded by Miranda Hennings. Driving up the court now is DeMint. And they're going to try posting up against Leeson. The Bruins are. Shot off, no good. DeMint trying to get another one. That jumper does drop in. DeMint scores on Asher Scott's assist. Bruins showing the full court press. They get it up the court, the Trojans do, as Huber passes it off to the right corner, Fick. Fick going to hand it off to the top of the key. Now Walsdorf with it, driving inside the paint. Going to pass outside to Huber. Huber pulls up for 3. That one, airballs that one. And Walsdorf try to keep that one in bounds. Is going to roll out of bounds on that far side corner. Lily Mackley now checks in for the Trojans for Sydney Fick. Inbounded by the Bruins to DeMint. DeMint has Mennings and Huber right on her. Ball's on the ground. Walsdorf almost came away with the steal, and they're going to get Walsdorf on the foul. DeMint to inbound this for the Bruins. They lead 2-0, the Bruins do. DeMint looking to get it, passes it off to the right wing inside to Arnold. Now Arnold passes it off, and that shot up and good from Jurek with the left hand. It's 4-0. Inbounded to Huber. Pass down deep to Mackley. Mackley drives, passes out to the left wing. Walsdorf who pulls up for 3. That one bounces off the rim. No good. Rebounded, pinned to the corner. Asher Scott is trying to bring up the court now for the Bruins. Still scoreless for the Trojans. They're down 4-0. Scott passes off to DeMint. Now back to DeMint at the Trojan logo at half court. Passing off right to Arnold. Back to DeMint. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Passing it off now to Jurek. Jurek inside to Scott. That shot no good there. That's going to be rebounded by Walsdorf. Walsdorf going to pass it off to Mackley on the right wing. Mackley to Huber. Huber trying to drive inside, bounce pass it to Leeson. Leeson puts up the shot off the glass, and she's on the board first. It's 4-2. Trojans showing the full court press. DeMint with the fast break, finds a lane, puts up the shot with the left hand. It's back to a 4-point game at 6-2. And that's going to be taken away. Bad pass there from Menning. Going to be taken away by Miranda Hennings. Passing off now to Jurek, top of the key. Jurek passes it to the top of the key. Now DeMint. DeMint. Now they're going to pass it off to that left corner. Hennings gets it on the left wing. Pulls up. Blocked by Leeson. That's number 65 this season. Mackley passes off to Walsdorf. Back to Leeson, top of the key. Drives inside, and she's going to lose it. It's going to be Trojan basketball. Angela Slattery and Caitlin Dyer both check in now for Morgan Huber and Lily Mackley. Dyer to inbound this for the Trojans. Dyer gets it off to Walsdorf, right wing. Now top of the key to Courtney Menning. Menning passing it off to Slattery. Slattery from the free throw line, pass off to Dyer. Dyer, left side, hands it off to Leeson. Pulls up for 3. That one rolls off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Mennings. Mennings passes it off now to DeMint. DeMint drives up the court pretty quick. Passing off now top of the key, Jurek. Jurek inside to Scott. Scott inside the paint. Gets to the right elbow. That's going to be blocked down by Leeson. Kept in bounds by DeMint. And DeMint's going to lose it on his way out of bounds. It's going to be Trojan basketball. Sydney Fick now checks in for Leeson. Trojans trail by 4, still 6-2 with 6:44 to go on the Farmers Ag scoreboard. Fick inbounds it to Dyer. Dyer passes it off to Menning. Menning to Dyer. Back to Menning. Menning passes out to Slattery. Slattery inside to Fick. Fick pulls up. No good there. Ball's on the floor. Fick picks up the rebound. He picks up the ball off the floor. I think they're going to call a jump ball Bruins, though. Yep, they're going to call a jump ball Bellevue. Still 6-2. Bruins inbound it. It's Arnold. He's got Dyer right in her face. Arnold's going to bring up the court. Gets past half court. He's got 2 Trojans on her. Passes it off before stepping on that back court or that half court line. Scott inside to Jurek. Poked away by Fick. Fick keeps it in bounds. Grabs it off the baseline before going out of bounds. Passes it off to Slattery. Slattery tries throwing the needle to Fick. It's going to be taken away by Scott. Scott pulls up inside the paint, rolls off. Who's going to come up with that rebound? Scott gets her own rebound. Her second shot attempt, no good. Fick comes up with a second one. Pass off to Slattery. Slattery to Fick. Fick passes off to the left wing, Walsdorf. Walsdorf to Dyer in the left corner. Dyer makes her way around the arc. Gets inside the paint. She wants to pull up, passing it off now to Menning. Menning drives inside the paint now. Pass off to Dyer in the right corner. She pulls up for 3. Hits the 3. It's 6-5. And it felt like that was a much-needed 3 there for the Trojans. They've been struggling to put points on the board so far. Really struggling to find any sort of rhythm. Maybe that's a good start. That's going to be passed inside to Scott. Scott passing it off, and now that shot up and good for Ashton Arnold on the assist from Scott. It's 8-5. Dyer to bring it past half court for the Trojans, passing off to Fick, top of the key. Fick hands it off to Menning. Menning drives, passes it off to the left corner, Walsdorf, who drives the baseline. She's going to step out of bounds with it. And that's going to be Bruin basketball. Lily Mackley and Morgan Huber both check in now for Walsdorf and Menning. It's going to be inbounded now by Jurek for the Bruins. Jurek gets the pass back. Passing off now to Arnold. Back to Jurek. Pass half court, passing it off, and Huber almost got a hand in that one. And they're going to pass that one off. Fick trying to push that out of bounds, and that is going to push Keziah Terrell out of bounds with it. So that's going to be another turnover there. Fick to inbound this for the Trojans. Inbounds it to Huber. Huber with the high pass off to Fick. Fick passes to Mackley. Mackley comes in from that right wing, passing off to Fick. Fick hands it off to Huber. Right corner now, Dyer. Dyer trying to drive the baseline, spinning around, trying to get away. Passing off and intercepted by Delaney Van Karen. But Mackley comes up with the steal and put up the shot. But they're going to call a foul on Mackley. So offensive foul against Mackley. Got the steal, tried getting the points off the turnover. That's actually going to result in a turnover herself. Nice effort, though, from Mackley. Bring up the court now is DeMitt. DeMitt pass it out to the right wing. Now Jurek. Jurek passes it off left to Arnold. Pulls up for 3. That bounces up. And that's going to be rebounded by Fick. They're actually going to call foul there, too, against Keziah Terrell. LCS Leeson looking to check in now for Sydney Fick. 4:12 to go. It's not been a pretty quarter for the Trojans here. They trail by 3, though, on the Farmers Egg scoreboard, 8-5. Dyer bringing up the court. Dyer passing off to the left side. Slattery almost lost someone out of bounds. I bring it in with the right hand. Slattery top of the key, passing off, and Huber unable to bring that pass, and that's going to go out of bounds. Savannah Walsdorf now checks in for Slattery. It's going to be inbounded by Arnold. Arnold gets the pass back. Got 2 Trojans right on her. Mackley gets a hand on that one, and that's going to be taken away by Walsdorf. Walsdorf trying to find a lane inside the paint. Pass it off to the left corner. Now Huber driving from the left wing. Back out to Walsdorf on the left wing. She's open for 3. She takes a shot. That one bounces off. No good there. Dyer gets a rebound. Pass it back to Huber. Huber pulls up for 3. She hits it. Ties it at 8. Both teams at 8, 3.5 to go on the Farmers Egg scoreboard in the first. Scott passing it off now to Arnold. Arnold back to Scott. He's got 2 Trojans right on her. Arnold walking that tightrope of the half-court line. Going to pass it off now. Scott gets it back at the top of the key. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Scott stepping back. He's got Huber guarding. Drives inside. Pulls up inside the paint. Drops in. It's now 10-8. Dyer bringing up the court now for the Trojans. Pass off to the left side, Walsdorf. Walsdorf back to S. Leeson. Trying to find a lane inside the paint. Going to drive inside. She's fouled on the way. So that should... I think they're going to call the foul before she got a shot off, so it's going to be a foul against the Bruins. Leaving 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Courtney Menning now checks back in for Caitlin Dyer. Menning looking to inbound this one. Does deep to S. Leeson. S. Leeson gets it, passing off to Walsdorf. Walsdorf to the left wing, Huber. Huber, top of the key, passing it off right to Mackley. Mackley, top of the key, passing it left to Huber. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Walsdorf trying to drive inside the paint. In the low post, spinning around. And that shot off the glass and good. Ties the game back up. It's now 10 apiece. 2.5 to go here in the first. Farmers Ag scoreboard. Jurek passing it down the court. Mackley got a hand on that one, but wasn't able to secure the steal. Scott gets it at top of the key. Scott passing off left now to Van Barricone, or Barricone. Inside, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Drops in for Brooklyn Busby. Mackley brings up the court. She's on the right wing, right in front of that Bruin bench. Hands it off to Huber. Huber passing off to the left side, and pass is going to go out of bounds. Intended for Walsdorf. That's going to be another Trojan turnover. It's still 2-point game, 12-10. Bruins lead. Trojans have not had a lead yet in this game. They've tied it up twice. Scott passing off now to Dement. Dement bring up the court, trying to find a lane, passing out to that left key or corner, pulling up for three. Off target, no good. Rebounded by Walsdorf. Walsdorf gets to the left wing, drives inside the paint. Going to hand it off to S. Leeson, who pulls up for three. No good there. That's batted back. Ball's on the floor. Who's going to pick it up? Huber does. Keeps it alive for the Trojans. Huber pass off to Walsdorf. Top of the key. Back to Huber on the left wing. Thought about the three. Going to make her way around the arc. Gets inside. Pass off to Mackley. She's going to take the three herself. She's going to hit it for the Trojans' first lead. It's 13-12. Dement facing a full court press from the Trojans, trying to get up at the court. It's got Menning and Huber right in her face. Passes it down. Ball's on the floor. Goes out of bounds. Looked like it last touched Scott before going out of bounds. So that's going to be inbounded by S. Leeson right in front of the Trojan bench. There's another turnover. What are the turnover numbers here? I think Trojans have 7. That's either the 5th or the 6th turnover for the Bruins now. That's going to be inbounded by Caitlin Dyer, or to Caitlin Dyer, who just recently checked in. Her and Slattery did. Walsdorf with on the left wing, passes it to Slattery top of the key. Slattery passes it right now to Menning. Menning top of the key, S. Leeson. S. Leeson drives inside, passes to the left corner. Dyer open for three, takes a shot. Overshot that one. That's going to be rebounded by Hennings for the Bruins. Under a minute. Scott top of the key, passing it to the right side to Dement. Now back to Scott, back to Dement. Dement passing it inside, and now even further inside to Jurek. Jurek passes it outside. Menning comes away with the steal. She's got no one there and puts up the shot with the right hand. Drops in, extending the Trojans' lead now 15-12. That is her 75th steal of the season. As Scott just trying to get away from both Dyer and Menning. I think they call a foul. They're going to call the foul on Menning. 9.5 seconds left here in the first on the Farmers Ag scoreboard. Trojans lead by 3. It's going to be Bruin basketball as Ashton Arnold inbounds it now to Dement. 7 seconds left. Dement drives inside the paint, pulls up, and that jumper no good. Batted back. Dyer comes up with the rebound. Walsdorf with the half-court shot. Oh! Bounced off the rim. Trojans with the 3-point lead after 1. here in the first quarter on the Farmers X scoreboard. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the start of the second here at KJM. Before deciding to fall out. No good on that shot. Arnold passing it, and now Van Blaricone shot for three. No good. Van Blaricone's going to get the rebound back. Bounce passes outside, and now Hennings on the left wing. She's going to pull it for three. She's no good. Slattery comes up with the rebound. Hennings has the best three-point percentage in the North Star Conference. Misses that one as Mackley drives inside the paint. She's going to lose it off her foot. That's going to be Bruin basketball. LCS Leeson now checks in for Cindy Fick. And Huber is now checking in for Courtney Menning. Laura Jurek to inbound this for the Bruins. Passing it inbounds to Scott. Scott to Jurek. Jurek trying to get past half court, passing it down to Van Blaricone. Posts up against Slattery, drops it in, and a chance for one more. Foul going to be called against Slattery. So that's going to send Van Blaricone to the Edward Jones free throw line, brought to you by Edward Jones Investments. Let's plan for you and your family's future with Edward Jones, helping make the world a better place. To tie this game back up. Van Blaricone hits it. It's now 15-15. As Leeson inbounds it to Dyer. Dyer on top of the arc, passes it off to Mackley. Mackley from the right elbow, passing off to Slattery. Thought about the three. Spins inside the paint. Bounce passes it to Leeson, who's trying to post up. And They're going to say she lost that one. I thought she was fouled. No, Oh, they did call the foul on Hennings. The way they were pointing, it looked like turnover, but that's going to send Alice Leeson to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. That's Leeson for 2. Hits her first. Breaks the tie. It's now 16-15. Chance for one more. And sinks her second. Savannah Walsdorf now checks back in for Angela Slattery. It's going to be inbounded to Jurek. What? And we just lost the, what? They're going to pass it off. Uh-oh. That's not good. Bounce passing it to the right. Walsdorf comes up with the rebound. Oh, that's not good. Dyer bringing up the court. Walsdorf. That's Leeson. Yep, I can hear you. That's going to be no good on that shot from Dyer. Dyer to Jurek. And that's going to be rebounded by S. Leeson now. Dyer, bring up the court. Dyer passes it off to S. Leeson. S. Leeson to Walsdorf. Walsdorf inside the paint. Pass it off to S. Leeson now on the left wing. S. Leeson to Dyer, pulling up for 3. And that one bounces off, no good, rebounded by Hennings. Henning to Jurek. And inside along the baseline. And that shot, I think that was another block there for us. Leeson against Arnold. Mackley, top of the key. Mackley trying to drive inside. That's going to be taken away from her by Hennings. Hennings gets in front of the Trojan bench. Trying to pass it off. Pass it off now to Arnold. Arnold to Van Blaricone. Van Blaricone passes it to the right side. Now inside pass to Scott. Scott in the low post. Pulls up. No good there. Rebounded by Mackley. Mackley to Walsdorf. Walsdorf to Mackley. Going to pull up the 3. She's already hit one. That one, no good there. Trojans still lead at 17-15. We apologize for going off air for a few moments. It seemed like there was an internet connection issue, but we seem to be good as Walsdorf comes away with a steal, and she's going to be pushed out of bounds. And they're going to call a foul against Van Blaricone. That's her second. Courtney Menning now checks in along with Sydney Thick and Angela Slattery. It's going to be inbounded to Menning. Menning passes it off to Huber on the right wing. Huber to Slattery. Slattery to Menning on the left wing. Now back to top of the key to Walsdorf. Walsdorf inside. Huber on the right elbow. Passing it back to Menning. Pulls up for 3. That one bounces off. No good there. Shooting-wise, not been great for either side. Both teams shooting about 33.3% from the field. Trojans do have 3 three-pointers, though, compared to none for the Bruins. That's going to be inbounded to Arnold. Arnold passes it off to Scott. Scott at the half-court logo, trying to get away from the Trojans. Passes it inside now to Terrell. Terrell is going to be taken down by Slattery. So foul called against Slattery. His team's second. Lily Mackley now checks back in for Slattery. It's going to be inbounded with 20 seconds left on the shot clock for the Bruins. Low inbound pass, ball on the floor. It's going to be picked up by Arnold. Arnold passes it inside, and now passing it back to Arnold. Now left wing Scott pulls up for 3. That one bounces up, no good there. Walsdorf bounces the rebound back to her, and they're going to get Henning on a foul. Miranda Henning's called on the foul. That's her second and team 5th. That puts the Trojans in the bonus, sending Walsdorf to the Edward Jones free throw line. Walsdorf to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line for a chance for 2. Sinks her first. It's 18-5, or 18-15 rather. Chance for one more. And that one is sinks in as well. It's 19-15. Caitlin Dyer checks in now for Morgan Hubert. It's going to be inbounded by Arnold. Gets it off to Amina Hall rather. Scott looking to pass it off. Good to see that she's up and walking after the injury she suffered. That's going to be poked out of bounds by Fick. But at last touch, the Bruin on its way out of bounds. Fick inbounds it to Dyer. Dyer pass half court. Passing off to Fick. Fick top of the key to Dyer. Dyer passing off right to Menning. Menning inside of Walsdorf. Walsdorf inside the paint. Puts up the shot. Floaters in and good. It's 21-15. Inbounded to Scott. She's got Menning right on her. And they just call the foul against Menning there. That's her second. Team third. Huber now checks in for Menning. I don't know about that foul, to be honest, but that's what the official's going to call. That's what they're going to call. Bruins trying to make a substitution change as Miranda Hennings checks back in. It's going to be inbounded now to Jurek. Jurek passes it back to Hall. Hall to Scott. Scott trying to get past half court. She's got to pass it off. She does left to Jurek. Jurek passes it left to Hennings. Hennings passes it. Ball's on the floor. Fick trying to come up with it. And no jump ball there. That's going to be passed back out. Scott pulls up inside the paint. Puts up a shot. Ball's on the floor. And they're going to call the foul against Fick. No. Lily Mackley. That's her second, team fourth. That sends DeMint, rather, to the Edward Jones free throw line. DeMint at the Edward Jones free throw line for a chance for 2. Hits her first. Chance for one more now for DeMint. Scores 21-16, 4:48 to go here in the second on the Farmers Ag scoreboard. DeMint for a chance for one more from that Edward Jones Investments free throw line. And that one bounces off. No good. Rebounded by Mackley. Mackley. Pass half court for the Trojans. Passing off right to Huber. Huber trying to drive inside. Passing off to Dyer. Dyer top of the key. Passing off to Walsdorf. Now back to Huber. Right to Mackley on the right wing. Mackley to Dyer. Dyer left to Huber. Looked like she's going to take the 3. Doesn't. Instead, they're going to pass it off. Walsdorf is going to take the 3. No good there. Just inaccuracy on some of these shots and passes so far from the Trojans, as they still lead by 5. It's 21-16. Bruins passing it off. Now to Terrell. Pulls up inside the paint. No good there. Rebounded with the one hand of Fick. Fick passing it down to Dyer. Dyer unable to reel it in before going out of bounds. Fick put a little too much onto that pass. Slattery now checks in for the Trojans. She checks in for Walsdorf. Bruins inbounded to DeMint. DeMint trying to get away from Dyer. Passing it off now to Jurek. Jurek pass half court. Passes it off, and that one blocked down, and Jurek is able to bring it down. Mackley comes up with the steal. She's trying to drive inside. Gets out to that right wing. Passes it out, and I thought they were going to get a hand. I thought the Bruins got a hand on that one before going out of bounds, but they did not. And they're going to call a timeout on the court. It's 21-16, 3:50 to go. Let's take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back in 30. Jammin' Country 103. First Interstate Bank in Madison has a mission. to the Madison Discount Liquor broadcast booth. Trojans lead 21-16. It's not been pretty. Both teams have double-digit turnovers. Dakota State with 13, Bruins with 12. Dakota State's been able to capitalize more on those turnovers, though. Bruins passing it to the right corner. Hennings for three. Hits it from the right corner. 21-19. Definitely one of the last people in the conference you want to leave open for three. As Dyer passing off to Walsdorf. Walsdorf trying to get inside the paint. Spins around, passes out to Dyer. Dyer on the left wing. She's going to drive inside the paint now. She wants to pass it off, gets out to the right corner. Slattery pulls up for three. Looks like it's going to be short, and it's going to be rebounded by Hennings. Hennings passing off to Scott. Scott to DeMint. DeMint on the right, passes it right to Hennings. Hennings passes it to the right corner, Jurek. Jurek drives the baseline, being guarded by Walsdorf, passes it off, and Huber gets a hand on that one, knocking it out of bounds. Was intended on the pass to DeMint. Leaves 12 seconds left on the shot clock. LCS Leeson and Courtney Menning will check in now for the Trojans for Fick and Dyer. Arnold looking to inbound this for the Bruins. Inbounded high to Scott. Scott pulls up inside the paint. I think as Leeson got a hand on that one, it's going to be rebounded by Slattery. Slattery passes it off now to Huber. Huber passing it to the right corner, Slattery. She wants another three-pointer attempt. That one's going to bounce off target. No good. Rebound by S. Leeson. Gets a second chance opportunity. Off the glass and in. It's 23-19. Trojans out of their lead. Bruins trying to get up the court. It's Scott driving inside the paint. Going to pull up. That's going to roll in and out. Rebounded by Slattery. Tough challenge there when you have LCS Leeson right in your face trying to pull up. As Walsdorf, she's going to pull up with the right hand, and she drops another one in the bucket. It's 25-19. Trojans finding a little bit of a rhythm here. Late in the second quarter, a little over 2 minutes left on the Farmers Jack scoreboard. Arnold drives inside the paint, being guarded by S. Leeson. Denied! 66 for her. Menning drives inside the paint, passes it to the right corner. Huber. Huber drives the baseline, passes it off to Menning. Menning going to pull up for three. Going to bounce off target. No good. Rebounded by DeMint. DeMint bringing it up the court now for the Bruins. And that one blocked and denied by Huber. Foul going to be called, though. So that's going to be a shooting foul, sending DeMint to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. Huber called on the foul. That's her first, team fifth. Both teams now in the bonus with 1:41 to go on the Farmers X scoreboard in the second quarter. That sends DeMint to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. DeMint misses her first, bounces off the front of the rim. Still 25-19. Got a chance for one more now. Shots up. No good there. Rebound by S. Leeson. S. Leeson passes off to Dyer, who recently just checked back in for Huber. Dyer trying to get away from the Bruins, passing off now to S. Leeson. She's open for three. She's going to take the shot. Bounces off. That's going to be rebounded. No good. Rebounded there by Van Blaricone. Scott bring up the court, passing off to Jurek. Jurek on the right wing. Going to hand it off to Scott. Scott to DeMint. She's at the half-court logo. Passing off to the right side, Van Blaricone. Van Blaricone inside, and now Jurek at the free throw line passes it to Van Blaricone. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Jurek passes it inside Arnold. Arnold trying to post up against S. Leeson, and that shot no good. Rebounded by S. Leeson. Under a minute to go. Walsdorf gets the pass. She's inside the paint. She's got three Bruins on her. She's trying to pass it out of bounds, or she's trying to pass it out, but I believe she was fouled first. Van Blaricone called on the foul, so that's going to send Walsdorf to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. And it looks like they're going to get a substitution change in for the Bruins first. Trojans lead 25-19. Both defenses have been strong here as Walsdorf misses her first free throw off the front of the rim. But not just that, the shooting hasn't been standout. As Walsdorf's second free throw attempt is in and good. It's 26-19 now. Slattery checks out. Checking back in for her is Mackley. 53.1 seconds to go here in the half on the Farm Flag scoreboard. Inbounded to DeMint. She's got pretty much 3 Trojans right in her vicinity. Trying to get away from Dyer. DeMint at the half-court logo. Breaks through, and they're going to call foul. I don't know about that. Foul called on Caitlin Dyer. That sends DeMint to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. DeMint from the free throw line. 1 for 4. Misses her first free throw attempt there. Now she's 1 for 5. Student section definitely giving her a hard time as she's shooting right into the student section. Second free throw attempt from the Edward Jones free throw line is up and good. It's 26-20. Dyer bringing up the court now for the Trojans. Dyer gets at the half or top of the key, passing off to Slattery. Slattery passes off to Walsdorf. Walsdorf trying to drive the baseline, pass off to Slattery. Slattery going to hand it off to Walsdorf. Thought about the 3. Instead, she's going to drive inside. Walsdorf gets inside the low post. She's trying to spin away from the Bruins. Pass it off to Menning. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Pass off to Dyer. Pulls up for 3. No good. Rebounded. And, ooh, I think that last went off. And it did. Last went off of Arnold on its way out of bounds. So that's going to be a new possession there for the Trojans. Shot clock off, 18.4 seconds to go. As Dyer inbounds it deep to Menning. Menning at the half-court logo. Menning passing it inside to Asleason on that right elbow. Passing it left to Walsdorf. Pulls up for 3. Blocked. Walsdorf gets the second chance opportunity, though. That one drops in. Off the backboard. DeMint at half-court. Gets a shot off, but not in time. It doesn't matter anyway. Trojans lead by 8. It's been a back-and-forth kind of half here. But Trojans, they do have the 8-point lead. 28-20 is the Trojans' lead heading into the break. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. Come back with your Wilbur Ellis halftime show on the way next year at KJAM.
First Premier Bank has deep roots in South Dakota. Our ag bankers are homegrown experts committed to helping you find the right financial solution for your operation. With extensive experience in the industry, First Premier offers flexible options and local decisions designed to help you today and for generations to come. Find a First Premier ag banker nearest you at firstpremier.com/ag. First Premier Bank, investing in your growth. Member FDIC.
For over 50 years, Rosebud Wood Products has been serving America's cabinetry needs. Family owned and operated, with employees who have been a part of the Rosebud family for decades. They're big enough to handle any job, yet small enough to make sure your project matters. Quality doesn't cost. It pays. So pay the Rosebud Factory and Showroom a visit today. Or visit us online at rosebudwood.com.
It's a new era at DSU. Dakota State University is rising.
Your business, or if you're in
Into your Wilbur Ellis halftime show, brought to you by Wilbur Ellis in Chester. Contact your local field experts today to help you grow smart, increase productivity, and reduce loss. Wilbur Ellis, where they never stop looking ahead. The Dakota State Trojans up 28-20. It was, I guess you could call it back and forth throughout that first half. Trojans led after they outscored Bellevue in each of the 2 quarters. Bellevue had as much as a 4-point lead. Leads changed once. It's been tied 3 times. Once the Trojans got the lead, it's been theirs. It took them a while to finally get that lead. They struggled early. They definitely struggled early on. Turnovers have been pretty big in this one. Both teams with double-digit turnovers, and both teams capitalizing the best they can. Dakota State's got 13 turnovers. Bruins have turned those into 6 points. Bruins have 12 turnovers. Dakota State's turned those into 7 points. So between the shooting, Dakota State 10 for 30 shooting right now. Bruins 8 for 28. 3-point percentage-wise, Bruins have only been able to make 1 3-pointer. The Trojans have been able to make 3. And then, so the 3-point difference there, and also the Bruins have missed 4 free throws, while the Trojans have only missed 1 free throw. So you look at all that, and that's kind of how we got to this point, despite the Trojans struggling early. It seemed like both teams were trying to get out to a quick start, and they're both forcing things early on in that game. The Trojans forcing a little too much, it seemed like. Some of the shots just weren't there. They were trying to build momentum and trying to create something that just wasn't going to be there for them. So the bench definitely helped both teams, actually. Second chance points inside the paint's even right now. 14 points for each team inside the paint. Trojans with second chance opportunities, though. They're capitalizing more on those. 10 second chance points for the Trojans. Bellevue with 2. Foul-wise is pretty even. Steals fairly even. Trojans with 7. Bruins with 6. I know I'm just listing off a bunch of stats right now. The Trojans just got to be able to hone it all in and just kind of keep themselves together. It seemed like early in the game, seemed like I mentioned, they were just forcing things. They were just trying to do anything. They were just trying to do everything, or they were just trying to do too much. And eventually that's going to come back to bite you in the rear end, and it did for a little bit. Once the Trojans were able to kind of calm down, and once they were able to hit shots, because that was one thing they couldn't do early. They were struggling just to make their own shots. Once they were able to finally get those shots to fall in for themselves, things started to turn for the better. They started to be able to get a lead. Now they lead by 8, and an 8-point lead right now may not be the best thing. It may not feel the most comfortable with an 8-point lead against the Bruins right now, but you do lead by 8. You have been able to find your rhythm late in each quarter. You've been able to find some sort of rhythm. So can you carry that into the start of the third quarter, which Trojans are very good at coming out of halftime and just laying it out in the third quarter. They're good at those quick, fast starts coming out of the break. Can they do that here tonight? Because they don't always get out to fast starts to start the game, but they do very frequently get out to fast starts to start the second half. So if they keep that going, they lead by 8, get out to the fast start to start the second half, that should put them in position to get their 13th straight win. Let's take a 3-minute break. We'll come back, take a look at some other scores across the conference, and then we'll look at stat leaders as well in this one. We'll be back in 3 minutes for your Wilbur Ellis halftime show on Jammin' Country 103. score yet. Actually, we might be, that one's going to be starting about 25 minutes from now. So, of course, there's no score. The game hasn't started yet. Those are the scores in your area or in the North Star Conference. And then, of course, here from the DSU Fieldhouse, the Trojans lead 28-25 at the half. And the Trojans have been led by Savannah Walsdorf, who is coming off a weekend where she had back-to-back double-doubles. Got 11 points, 6 rebounds. She's well on her way to potentially getting another double-double here tonight. She's also got 2 steals for the Trojans. LCS Leeson with 6 points, 3 blocks. Those 3 blocks put her at 67 this season. And she's also got 5 rebounds. With her 6 points, she is now 8 away from reaching the 1,000 point club at Dakota State University. So definitely keeping an eye on that, as Leeson definitely can get the 8 more points here in the second half, but will she? Will be the question. Savannah Walsdorf did pass Kylie Westover for 6 all-time now on the DSU scoring list, as she's got 1,411 points now for the Trojans in her career. Other players for the Trojans who have had pretty big impacts in that first half. Lily Mackley hit a 3-pointer. She's got 3 points and 3 steals. She's also got 4 turnovers, though. Caitlin Dyer with 3 points coming off of a 3-pointer. And then Morgan Huber with 3 points, also coming off of a 3-pointer. Courtney Menning with 2 points, 2 assists, and a steal. For Bellevue, leading the way is Taylor DeMint with 6 points. And then Miranda Hennings. She's got 3 points coming off of her 1 3-pointer that she made. She's also stolen the ball 3 times for the Bruins. So those are your stats here at the halfway mark in this one between the Dakota State Trojans and the Bellevue Bruins. And this has been your Wilbur Ellis Halftime Show, brought to you by Wilbur Ellis in Chester, specializing in dry and liquid fertilizers, decal and Astro seeds, and custom application of fertilizers. Contact them today, 489-2171, Wilbur Ellis, where they never stop looking ahead. We're going to take our final break here, come back in 90 seconds with the start of the second half here at KJM.
First Premier Bank has deep roots in South Dakota. Our ag bankers are homegrown experts committed to helping you find the right financial solution for your operation. With extensive experience in the industry, First Premier offers flexible options and local decisions designed to help you today and for generations to come. Find a First Premier ag banker nearest you at firstpremier.com/ag. First Premier Bank, investing in your growth. Member FDIC.
It's a new era at DSU. Dakota State University is rising. Dakota State University athletics are rising. Rising to new heights of performance, of engagement, of fandom. Get ready to experience Dakota State University athletics in a whole new way. You are now entering DSU Trojan territory. An event center, indoor training facility, outdoor sports complex, and shared 2-level building concourse will become one consolidated complex, housing existing DSU athletic programs, potential future sports such as soccer and esports, and unique research and academic programs. The design's angular form, modern materials, and interactive space.
And welcome back to the Madison Discount Liquor Broadcast booth. Trojans up 8 points here, 28-20, as we get ready for the start of the second half. As the Bruins will have the ball first. It's going to be inbounded to DeMint. DeMint inbounds it, gets the inbound pass, puts it on the floor real quick, picks it back up, being guarded by Menning. DeMint gets to the left wing. She's now got Huber on her. DeMint drives inside, passes it to the right wing. Open for 3 is Hennings. She's no good. Mackley trying to get the rebound. Unable to do so. It's going to grow out of bounds. It's going to leave. It's going to put 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Bruins. DeMint looking to inbound this. Does to that right corner, Hennings. They pass it inside, now back to DeMitt on the left wing. And poked out. Looked like Courtney Menning got a hand on that one to poke it out as Leeson came up with it. Menning's got it on the right corner. Menning going to pass it to the left corner. Huber pulls up for three from that left corner. Hits it from downtown. It's 31-20. And they get the travel call against the Bruins that time as well. Trojans rolling here early in this second half. This is exactly what Dakota State needed in this first half, or this first minutes or so in the third quarter. Courtney Menning to inbound this for the Trojans, gets it to the left corner, Mackley. Mackley to Walsdorf, top of the key. Mackley to the left wing. Passes it right to Menning. Menning back to Huber. Huber high to Mackley. Mackley high to Esleason. Esleason off the glass, drops it in for two more. It's 33-20. Trojans with the full court press. They pass it off, and now DeMitt trying to get it past half court. Got two Trojans guarding her. DeMitt trying to squeeze through, passes it out, and no one home. That's going to be another forced turnover. LCS Leeson to inbound this to Menning for the Trojans. Menning bringing up the court, passing off to Mackley. Mackley to the left side, looking to pass it. Does to Esleason at the top of the key, passing it right to Huber. Huber passing it back to Esleason. Esleason gets inside the paint, passing off to Mackley. Mackley looking to drive. She's in the low post. Bounce passes it to Esleason. She's open for three. She's going to take the shot. Hits it! 36-20. And Coach Mo and the Trojans are fired up. Bruins have to call a timeout. We're going to take one as well. Trojans lead 36-20. 8:23 to go here in the third on the Farmers Jack scoreboard. We'll be back in 30. KJM.
At Madison Regional Health System, we're committed to providing quality health care close to home. Our healthcare system includes over 270 knowledgeable and skilled employees who are dedicated to providing exceptional inpatient and outpatient healthcare services to you and your loved ones. As an award-winning critical access hospital, we are honored to serve and support our local athletes. For over 135 years, we have made your health our priority.
Energy and services to the city of Madison.
The Trojans are all fired up here in the opening minute and a half in this third quarter. Welcome back to the Madison Discount Liquor broadcast booth. Trojans have hit 2 3-pointers, 3 total field goals in this third quarter already. It's going to be inbounded. They're going to pass it off to Jurek. Jurek just trying to get away from Courtney Menning at half court. Passing it off now to Arnold. Arnold trying to squeeze through. Barely gets it off before violation there. Hennings passes it off. Arnold picks it up in the low post. Passing it off to Scott. Scott now to the right wing. Now Arnold gets it back right in front of the Bruin bench. Passes it inside Scott. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Scott steps back. Takes a shot. Falls down while grabbing that one. And no good. Rebounded, picked up by Courtney Menning. Almost had it taken away from her. Menning able to keep it as Leeson has it in the low post. She's going to try passing it off. Miranda Hennings comes up with it. Passing off to Scott. Where DeMitt going to be called on the travel there. She tried shooting that one off. DeMitt called on the travel. There's another turnover. Caitlin Dyer and Sydney Fick both check in for the Trojans. What I say at halftime, the Trojans got to get out to a quick start, and that's something they do very consistently. That's exactly what they're doing here in this second half. They're very good at coming out of halftime on fire, and that's exactly what they're doing. Mackley has it at top of the key. Passing off to Angela Slattery, who also just checked in recently. Slattery looking to pass it off to Menning. She does. Menning wants to pass it. Does to the right corner. Slattery drives the baseline. She's going to pass it off to Fick. Fick open for three in the right corner. She takes a shot. That one bounces off. No good there. And almost rebounded by Dyer. Dyer's going to be called on the foul. So they call the foul on Dyer. Jurek to inbound this for the Bruins. He's got 2 Trojans pretty much right on Arnold after the inbound pass. Arnold passing off to Jurek. high to DeMint. Poked away. Mackley got a hand on that one. Menning comes up with it. Menning passing off to Mackley in the right corner. She's going to pull up for three. That one's going to roll off. No good there. Rebounded. Fick comes up with the rebound. She's trying to fight away. Falls on the ground. Ball's on the floor. I think they're going to call the foul against the Bruins. Fick was just trying to rip that one away. I think she took an elbow to the face. And they're going to call foul. They're going to call foul against number 33, Miranda Hennings. That's team second and her third. Dyer to inbound this for the Trojans. Gets it to Slattery, bounce passes it to Fick inside the post. And another foul called. This time against Arnold. Ashton Arnold called on the foul. Dyer again to inbound this, does to Fick once again. Fick passes it off to Dyer. Dyer inside the paint, passing off to Slattery, pulls up for three. That one hits. It's 39-20. The Trojans have outscored the Bruins 11-0 in this second half so far. Scott inside the paint, passing it off. From the right elbow is Jurek, and that ends the Trojans' run. It's now 39-22. The Trojans were on an 11-point run. There's Dyer. Tries driving inside, and that's going to bounce off her foot. Goes out of bounds. Savannah Walsdorf from Morgan Huber both check in now for the Trojans. Taking out or subbing in for Mackley and Menning. Inbounded to Jurek. Jurek to Arnold. Arnold just trying to get away from Savannah Walsdorf and Caitlin Dyer. Passes it off now to DeMint. DeMint passes it to left corner. Hennings. Hennings for three. That one rolls off target. No good. As Walsdorf is going to be taken out. Looked like an awkward fall down there, but does secure the rebound for the Trojans. They call the foul on Aisha Scott there. Sydney Fick to inbound this to Caitlin Dyer once they finish wiping off the floor. 6 minutes to go here in the third on the Farmers X scoreboard. Trojans with a 39-22 lead. They're just wiping down that entire baseline, essentially. Can we get this road back on the show, please? Fick patiently awaiting to get this ball back from the officials so she can inbound it. Does. She's going to pass it down to Slattery, actually, as the Bruins had two players guarding Dyer. Fick gets it inside the paint. She's trying to spin away, passing it off to Huber. Beyond the arc, drives inside. Huber put a move on the Bruins. Slattery keeps it from going half court. Walsdorf saves it from going out of bounds. Huber gets the pass it off to Fick. Fick drops it in. Disaster averted on like multiple occasions there, and the Trojans come up with it, 41-22. They pass it off. They're trying to pass it off, the Bruins do. Arnold with it. DeMint passes it to Jurek. Jurek inside to Scott. Trying to post up against Fick. Slattery, I think, got a hand on that one before the shot went off, so I think they're called a foul on Slattery. Oh, they called it on Fick there. That's going to be her first. Sending Scott to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. Brought to you by Edward Jones Investments in Madison. Let's plan for you and your family's future with Edward Jones, helping make the world a better place. Scott from the free throw line. First one rolls off, no good. Chance for one more, though, from Scott from the Edward Jones free throw line. That one does drop in. It's 41-23 now. 5:16 to go here in the third quarter on the Farmers X scoreboard. Fick looking to inbound this one. She's run out of time, and that's going to be taken away by DeMint. DeMint steals the inbound pass, passes it off, trying to post up. Is Jurek, gets her own rebound back, passing him back to DeMint on the left wing. Back to Jurek, left corner, three. Hits. It's 41-26. Inbounded to Huber for the Trojans. Huber just trying to get away from the Bruins, pass it off to Dyer. And Dyer passing into the right corner, Slattery. Slattery drives inside the paint. Ball's on the floor. Foul call. So that's going to be, I believe, the 4th foul, or is that the 5th? That's team 5th. That's going to send Slattery to the Edward Jones free throw line with the Trojans now in the bonus, actually. LCS Lisa and Courtney Menning both just checked in for the Trojans as well. Slattery misses her first from the free throw line. Chance for one more, though. Still 41-26. Chance for one more for Slattery from that Edward Jones Investments free throw line. That one drops in. It's 42-26. Lily Mackley now checks in for Slattery. Trojans showing a full court press. And Menning got a hand. Did she get a hand? No, she didn't. She forced the incomplete pass to Asha Scott. Got right in front of Scott. So that inbound pass falls incomplete. That's going to be Trojan basketball. Another turnover. Inbounded to Esleason. Esleason turns away. Pass it off to Walsdorf, top of the key. Walsdorf trying to drive inside. Passing out to Esleason. Left wing, drives, passing it right to Mackley. Mackley right to Huber. Huber thinks about it, pulls up for 3. That one bounces off, no good. Rebounded by Esleason. Has a fight through the Bruins to get that rebound. And they just called that jump ball. I thought Esleason had a clean rebound on that one. Menning to inbound. This does to Walsdorf right in front of the Trojan bench on that left wing. Passing it to top of the key. Menning almost loses it. Able to pick it back up. Menning drives, passing it, and Menning just took a shot to the face. So there's another foul against the Bruins. That's going to send Menning to that Edward Jones Investments free throw line. Foul called on Delaney Van Blaricone, and that's her 4th. Menning to the line. Misses her first. Chance for one more. And that one's up. No good there. Walsdorf tried coming up with the rebound. It's going to be rebounded by Scott. Scott gets to the left wing. She's at the top of the key. Passing off left now to Jurek. Jurek passes it to the top of the key. Now Terrell. Terrell drives inside tries to get to the left side. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Terrell passing it to the right side, and now Henning passing it off to Scott. Scott inside the paint, steps back. That one drops in, is good. 42-28 for Aisha Scott after her 2-pointer. Menning passing off to Walsdorf. Walsdorf back to Menning on the left wing. Menning hands it off to Huber. Huber drives inside the paint. Huber trying to put up a shot. That one's going to be denied. Kept in bounds by Ashton Arnold. So she gets to block and comes up with it, bring up the court. She gets right in front of the Bruins bench. Trying to pass it off to Jurek. Jurek inside to Scott. Scott back to Henning. Henning down pass to Scott. Scott posts up. That one's going to drop in and does draw the foul as well. They're going to get Esleason on the foul. Team 3rd. Chance for the and one from Scott from the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. Caitlin Dyer checks in for Morgan Huber for the Trojans. Scott drains that one. Inbounded to Dyer. It's 42-31. Menning looking to pass it off to Walsdorf. Walsdorf gets on the left wing on the deep pass. Gets it to the baseline. Walsdorf passing it to left corner. Dyer open for 3. Takes a shot. That one no good there. Rebounded by Walsdorf. Walsdorf spins inside the paint. Puts up the shot off the glass. And the second chance opportunity is in and good. It's 44-31. 3 minutes to go on the Farmers Ag scoreboard in this third quarter. Bruins bring up the court. It's Arnold barely able to get the pass off to Scott. Scott inside the paint, drops that one in. Floater in and good with the right hand. It's 44-33. Dyer trying to bring this up the court for the Trojans. Passing off to Mackley, top of the key. Mackley passes left to Esleason. Esleason left to Walsdorf. Walsdorf drives inside the paint. Passing it off to Esleason. Pulls up for 3. That one rolls off, no good. Rebounded by Hennings. Hennings passing it down to Arnold. Arnold with the lob pass to Scott. Scott trying to drive inside, almost had it poked away by Menning. Passing it to Arnold from the left wing. That one drains from downtown. It's 44-36. So Bruins trying to put together a little bit of a run here. They trail 44-36 to the Trojans. Dyer drives inside, puts up a shot. She's fouled on the way up. So that's going to send Dyer to the Edward Jones free throw line for a chance for two. Foul call against Terrell. Caitlin Dyer to the line. Dyer from the line. Misses her first. Has a chance for one more from the Edward Jones free throw line. And this one, no good as well. Rebound by Walsdorf. Trying to put up the shot. She's fouled on the way up. They call the foul on Shelby Little. So that sends Walsdorf to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. Angela Slattery now checks in for Lily Mackley. Walsdorf, first one, drops in. She's got a chance for one more now from the free throw line. Both teams have put up 16 points. Well, now it's 17 points after Walsdorf misses her second free throw attempt from the Edward Jones free throw line. Hennings from the three-point line. That one hits from the right corner. 45-39. Bruins back within 6. Fick passing it off now to Walsdorf. Walsdorf on the left wing. Walsdorf passes it back to Fick in the left corner. Drives, passing it back to Walsdorf. Walsdorf driving the baseline. She's open, finds a lane, puts up the shot with the right hand. She's good for two more. It's 47-39. Under 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter on the Farmers X scoreboard. Bruins trying to get a pass off away from the Trojans. Now Hennings again open for three. Takes the three, hits the three. 47-42. 5-point game. A little over a minute to go in the third. Dyer loses that one off her foot. I think a last touch of Bruin on its way out, though. Morgan Huberter and Lily Mackley both check in for the Trojans. Dyer to inbound this one. 1:08 to go here in the third quarter on the Farmers X scoreboard. Dyer scanning, passes it down deep to Slattery. Slattery top of the key. She's inside the paint now, spinning around. Passes it off to Huber. Huber inside the low post, trying to put up a shot. That one drops in. Oh, no, it does not. It drops off the glass. That's going to be rebounded by the Bruins. That's foul there for the Trojans. Trojans led by as much as 19 in this third quarter. They now only lead by 5. Passing off to DeMitt. DeMitt on the left elbow. Top of the key with it, passing off to Hennings. Hennings steps back to DeMitt. DeMitt being guarded by Huber, passing off to the right side. Now back to DeMitt. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Hennings passing it to the right corner. Pulls up for three is Jurek. No good there. Rebounded by Mackley. Shot clock off. 25 seconds to go here in the quarter. Mackley bringing up the court. Mackley on the right elbow. Passing off to Dyer. Dyer looks to hold on to this one for the final 15 seconds or so in this third quarter of Farmers X scoreboard. Going to hand off to Slattery. Slattery passing off to Fick inside the low post. Now back to Mackley. Open for three. Takes a shot. That one rolls off. No good. Rebound by DeMitt. 4 seconds left. DeMitt driving up the court. Passes it off now to Hennings. Hennings for three. That one got the shot off in time, but no good for three. It's 47-42. What a second half, or third quarter this has been for the Trojans. They only lead by 5, 47-42. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the start of the fourth here at KJM. Welcome back to the Madison Discount Liquor broadcast booth. Trojans lead by 5. They led by as much as 19 in that third quarter. It looked like they were getting ready to start running away with it, but once they got up to that 19, Bruins started coming back a little bit. I mean, definitely started coming back. They went on, and now they're only trailing by 5 to the Trojans. They get the ball to start this second quarter that Bellevue does. DeMitt passing off now to Scott on the right wing. Scott to Arnold, being guarded by Dyer. Arnold back to Scott, inside to Jurek in the low post, passing off to DeMint. DeMint pulls up for 3. That one bounces off, no good there. Hennings with the rebound. She wants a second chance opportunity. She's going to pass it off to Scott, actually. Scott gets inside the paint, passing off to Hennings. Hennings bounce passes it to Arnold. Arnold pulls up. That one drops in. It's 47-44. 3-point game. Trojans lead. Mackley at the top of the key for the Trojans. Makes her way left, passing off to Slattery. Slattery thought about the 3, drives inside the paint, passing off to Dyer. Dyer on the right wing. Dyer gets inside the paint, passing it off to Fick, and that one falls on the floor. Looked like foul going to be called there against Arnold. That's Arnold's second, team first. LCS Leeson and Savannah Walsdorf both check back in for the Trojans. Dyer to inbound this for the Trojans. She's going to inbound it deep to S. Leeson. S. Leeson, top of the key. Hand it off to Walsdorf. Walsdorf passes it right to Huber. Huber on the right wing. Back to the top of the key, Mackley. Mackley left to Walsdorf. Walsdorf to the top of the key, Dyer. Dyer right to Mackley. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Dyer passes it to Walsdorf. Pulls up for 3. That one bounces off the rim. No good. Going to be rebounded, kept in bounds by Walsdorf. She's going to try driving the baseline. Looked like she was fouled. What are they going to say? They're going to say she lost it. I thought she was fouled by Jurek. They're going to say Bruin basketball. Bruins trail by 3, 47-44. DeMitt trying to get away from Huber. DeMitt passing off to Scott. Scott to Jurek. Jurek passing it left to Hennings. Hennings with a low pass to Scott. Huber, try poking that ball out. Ball's on the floor. S. Leeson trying to come up with it. Jump ball. Trojans. So Huber and S. Leeson combine to get the turnover there. S. Leeson looking to inbound this. Does, and it's going to be foul actually called against Scott. She was right on the hip of Dyer. As Leeson inbounded it in Dyer's direction, foul called on Scott. As Leeson with another chance to inbound this for the Trojans. She's going to inbound it to Dyer. Dyer trying to get past Arnold up the court. Dyer right in front of the scorer's table. Poked out, but it looked like a last touch DeMitt on its way out of bounds. So it's going to be inbounded now with 23 seconds left on the shot clock for the Trojans. Dyer right on the left wing, passing off to S. Leeson. S. Leeson to Huber. Huber on the right side, gets to the baseline. Trying to pass it off now. Huber with a high pass to Walsdorf. Walsdorf to S. Leeson. S. Leeson shot up and good. It's 49-44. Under 8 to go here in the fourth on the Farmers Act scoreboard. DeMitt. And ooh, that pass. They passed that one back beyond the line at half court. So another turnover there. Just a silly error there from the Bruins. Inbounded by S. Leeson to Dyer. Dyer gets in front of the scores table, passes off to S. Leeson. S. Leeson passing it left. Now Dyer left corner. Dyer passing it off to S. Leeson, passing it off. And her and Huber not on the same page there. S. Leeson trying to pass it to Huber at the top of the key. Huber was driving inside. Weren't on the same page. That results in a turnover as Courtney Menning and Angela Slattery both check in for the Trojans. They sub in for Mackley and Dyer. Trojans lead by 5, 49-44. Arnold passing off to Jurek. Jurek inside to Scott. Scott to DeMint. DeMint trying to post up against S. Leeson. No good. DeMint gets her own rebound somehow. Gets outside the arc on that right side. DeMint passing it to the right corner. Arnold pulls up for three. That one airball's no good. Slattery comes up with the rebound. She fights through the Bruins, trying to get up the court, passing off to Walsdorf. Walsdorf gets inside the paint, passing off to Menning. Menning inside the paint, now passing it to Slattery. Slattery pulls it down, drives inside. She's going to pass off to Menning. Menning inside the paint. Menning scanning the floor, trying to find someone to pass it to. High pass to Asleason. Asleason posts up. That one drops in for two more for her. It's 51-44. I believe she's at 1,000 now. That should be her 1,000th, I think. They call a foul on the Trojans there. It's going to be inbounded. And I think they're figuring it out. And they're going to call a timeout for the Trojans, as LCS Leeson has gotten her 1,000th point. They were trying to figure, it looked like they were just double checking to confirm it, but Alice Leeson going to be handed the ball that she just scored her 1,000th point with. And she's going to run to the right corner. Looks like she's making a trip up to the, I can't really see where she went, but she went into the bleachers to hand that ball to somebody. That's her 1,000th point. Congratulations, LCS Leeson. She's now got 15 points in the game. That's a nice timeout call there by Coach Mo to be able to get as Leeson her recognition. Also, Savannah Walsdorf has gotten a double-double. She's at 16 points, 10 rebounds. So Savannah Walsdorf with the double-double. She also got up. She's now 6th all-time on the Trojans scoring list. LCS Leeson with her 15 point that she just scored. She's gotten her 1,000th career point here with the Trojans. A couple tremendous careers for those two seniors. Bruins looking to inbound this. DeMint right in front of the Bruins bench. Inbounds it. Walsdorf got a hand on it. It's going to be going out of bounds against Walsdorf to Scott. It was intended to Scott. Trojans lead 51-44. Sydney Fick now checks in for Asleason. DeMint hands it off to Scott. Scott gets to the half-court logo, being guarded by Menning. Menning passing off to DeMint on the right side. DeMint passing up to Hennings. Hennings to DeMint. DeMint right in front of the Bruins bench. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. DeMint drives inside, tries bouncing up, and ooh, Fick came down hard trying to get that rebound. Foul going to be called against Ashton Arnold. That's her 3rd. That was a hard fall for Fick there. Fick to inbound this to Courtney Menning. Trojans lead 51-44, 6:24 to go here on the Farmers Egg scoreboard. Menning bringing us up the court. Passing off to Slattery. Slattery to Fick. Fick right to Menning. Top of the key, Huber. Pulls up, takes a three. That one bounces off target. No good. Rebounded by Walsdorf. Walsdorf inside the paint. Passing off to Slattery. She's open for three. She's going to take the shot. That one does hit. It's 54-44. Trojans knew they wanted the three. It was just a matter of which Trojan was going to get it. Slattery got it there. As Scott trying to get away from the Trojans. That forces a timeout. 54-44, Trojans with the 10-point lead. 5:47 to go here on the Farmers Egg scoreboard in this 4th quarter. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Jammin' Country 103. Welcome back to the Madison Discount Liquor broadcast booth. The Bruins got back within as much as 3 points here in the second half, but the Trojans now lead by 10 with 5:47 to go in this fourth quarter on the Farmers X scoreboard. Bruins inbound it to Jurek. Jurek to Scott. Scott hands it off to Hennings. Hennings passing off left to Jurek. Jurek top of the key, passing it right to Hennings. She's got the open three, takes a shot, no good there. Falls right into the arms of Mackley for her rebound. Mackley's been rebounding a lot. That should be her fourth rebound as she gets it top of the key, drives inside the paint. Passing off to Slattery. Slattery, she's going to pull up for three. That one hits for another one. That's her third three-point attempt, second in the quarter. It's 57-44. Scott tried getting the mid-range jumper. She's fouled. Slattery, that should be her 10th point. That's going to send Scott to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line for a chance for two. Caitlin Dyer checks in now for Courtney Menning. And Angela Slattery getting 10 points off the bench. Her three-point shooting been really impressive, especially down the stretch here this season. Best three-point shooter in terms of percentage-wise on the Trojans team. As Scott hits her first from the Edward Jones free throw line. It's 57-45. But Slattery, 6th in the conference three-point percentage heading into this game. She's hit 3 for 5. Scott goes 2 for 2 from the line. It's 57-46. Fick inbounds it to Dyer. Dyer looking to bring up the court for the Trojans. Passing it off to Fick at half court. Fick passing it to Huber along the baseline. Huber with the right-handed shot, up and good. It's 59-46. Scott passing it off to DeMitt. Right in front of the scorer's table, DeMitt has got Dyer guarding on the floor. Picked up by Huber. Huber with the assist to Mackley, drops it in with the right hand. And the Trojans starting to feel good again. 61-46. DeMitt, pass half court. Finds a lane inside the paint, passing off now right to Terrell. Terrell to the top, passing it to the top of the key. That three-point attempt rolls off target, no good there from Jurek. Rebound by Slattery. Slattery to Fick. Fick hands it off now to Mackley. Mackley to Huber. She's open for three. Takes the shot. That one bounces off. No good there. Rebounded by Mackley. Mackley along the baseline puts up the shot. No good. Mackley tried for another time. She's no good the second time getting her own rebound, but was fouled on the way up. Mackley really just threw that one right into the bench. That's going to send Mackley to the line for a chance for two from that Edward Jones free throw line. Lily Mackley from the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. Hits her first, chance for one more. 62-46. Mackley with a chance for one more now from that Edward Jones free throw line. That one drains as well. It's 63-46. 4:07 to go here, fourth quarter. Bruins trying to pass it inside. That's going to be nice. Fick just got in the way of the pass there. Comes up with another steal for the Trojans. Mackley pass half court. She's at the top of the key, passing off right to Huber. Look to the three, passing it high to Fick inside the low post. Fick wants to put up a shot that's going to be batted down. Foul called against Laura Jurek. And that's the team fifth. So I believe that's going to send Fick to the Edward Jones free throw line. Yes, it will. With the Trojans now in the bonus. And Savannah Walsdorf now checks in for Slattery. Fick to the Edward Jones free throw line. Hits her first. 64-46 now. Chance for one more for Fick. And that one bounces off the front of the rim. No good. And that's going to be Trojan basketball. Ashton Arnold tried coming up with the rebound. Went off of her. Looked like Walsdorf was covering Arnold like a defensive back. Got in the way. That bounced right off Arnold to go out of bounds. Dyer inbounds it to Walsdorf. Walsdorf to Huber, top of the key. Huber taking her steps right. Hands it off to Dyer. Dyer around the arc. Drives inside from that right wing. Hands it, trying to get to Fick. Fick puts up the shot. That one, no good there. Rebounded by Arnold. It was an awkward shot there. Hennings on the right side, passing off to Jurek. Jurek intended to Arnold and a little behind her. Was intended for Ashton Arnold. The two were now on the same page. That results in another turnover. Trojans will take over. 3:19 to go on the Farmers Jack scoreboard. LCS Leeson to inbound this for Dakota State. As Leeson passes it inbounds to Dyer. Dyer pass half court. Passing it to S. Leeson. Put it on the ground real quick. Passing off to Mennings just in time. Now to Mackley. Top of the key. Pulls up for three. That one bounces off. No good. And ball's on the floor. Hennings comes up with the rebound. She's pinned to the right corner against Walsdorf. Able to pass that one off to Jurek. Jurek passes it down to Scott. Scott on the right elbow. Gets inside the paint. Now on the low post. Passing out to Hennings on the right wing. I thought she was going to pull it for three. She did not. As Arnold tried putting up the shot. No good. That's going to be batted back, I think. Who had a last touch? They're saying a last touch Bellevue, so it's going to be Dakota State basketball. As Leeson inbounds it to Menning. Menning. Pass half court. Drives to the right side. Passes it off to S. Leeson. S. Leeson passes it off to Walsdorf. Top of the key. Now left S. Leeson. Now even further left to Mackley. Mackley drives inside the paint. Mackley passes it off to an open S. Leeson. Off the glass. In for two more. It's now a 20-point game. 66-46 is Dakota State's lead. And what happened? I don't know what happened there. There another foul? I don't know who the foul was on, but Caitlin Dyer is going to head to the line. That Edward Jones Investments free throw line. I'm really confused on what the foul was. I didn't see anything, but it was right in front of the students section. Foul was on Taylor DeMint. And officials trying to sort everything out here. They originally had Dyer go to the line. Dyer now right in front of the student section looking like she's going to inbound this one. Trojans in the bonus though. All right. It's going to be inbounded by Dyer or to S. Leeson. Dyer gets a pass back. Pass off to Mackley. Open for three. Takes a shot. That one bounces off target. No good. And S. Leeson is going to be called on the foul. Inbounded by the Bruins. Jurek passes it to Arnold. Arnold pass half court. Arnold passes it off now to Terrell. Terrell inside the low post. Drops it in. Chance for one more. Foul called against S. Leeson. LCS Leeson called on her second. Team third. That's going to send Terrell to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. 66-48. 2:02 to go on the Farmers Jack scoreboard. That one rolls in and out, no good. Rebound by Walsdorf. And another foul called? What? They call foul on Lily Mackley. So that's team fifth. Both teams down in the bonus. I'm confused. That's going to send Arnold to the Edward Jones Investments free throw line, though. 2:02 to go on the Farmers Jack scoreboard. Arnold for a chance for two. Hits her first. Chance for one more. Chance for one more from the free throw line. Arnold's shot is up and no good. Rebound by S. Leeson. S. Leeson passes it down to Walsdorf. Walsdorf brings her way up the court. Looks like she's going to pass it off to Mackley. Mackley almost lost it. Mackley reels it in. Passing off Walsdorf on the right wing. Gets inside the paint. Poked out. Ball on the floor. Walsdorf picks it up. Passing off to Menning on the left corner. Now back to Walsdorf on that left side. Walsdorf steps in. Takes a shot. Hits it from downtown. It's back to a 20-point game. Trojans with a nice 69-49 lead. A little over 90 seconds to go on the Farmers Act scoreboard, and that one's going to roll out of bounds. Another turnover forced there by Dyer and Menning. Sydney Thick now checks in for Lily Mackley. LCS Leeson to inbound this for Dakota State. Trojans lead by 20. About to extend their winning streak to 13 games this season as Leeson inbounds it to Dyer. Dyer gets past half court. Ball's on the floor. Her and, looked like, who was that? That is Olivia Bigger, who got tripped up there. That's Bigger's first foul there, sending Dyer to the Edward Jones free throw line. And almost a full substitution change for the Trojans. LCS Leeson checks out along with 3 other Trojans. Checking in for the Trojans, Morgan Huber, Angela Slattery, Lily Mackley, and then McCann Vincent checks in for the first time tonight as Dyer misses her first free throw from the Edward Jones Investments free throw line. Dyer's second one rolls in and out, no good there. Rebounded by Arnold. Arnold bringing up the court now for the Trojans. Passing it off now to Amina Hall. Arnold left to Terrell. Terrell with the high pass, Arnold. Passing it even higher and even further inside to Jillian Friedman, who gets this bucket for 2. It's 69-51. Dyer passes it off now to Mackley. Mackley on the left wing. Top of the key to Vincent. Vincent gets inside the low post. Trying to get to the low post she was. Hands off to Dyer inside the paint. Passing it to the left corner. Mackley open for 3. Takes a shot. That went off target. No good there. Vincent gets a rebound. Stays in bounds. And now Mackley gets it back. She's going to pass it off to Huber. Huber trying to find a lane. Passing it back to the left corner. Dyer. Dyer with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Trying to put up a shot. And she's going to draw the foul. Or sorry, draw the travel. Commit the travel, I guess, is a better way to phrase that. 69-51, 36.4 seconds left, so 6.4 seconds separate the shot and game clock. Terrell passing it off left to Bigger. Bigger to Arnold. Arnold, her pass was initially tipped away by Huber. Ball's on the floor. Slattery got it in there, and Dyer comes up with it. She's going to hold on to it. 15 seconds left on the Farmers Ag scoreboard. Trojans going to get the 18-point victory here at home to finish off their regular season against Bellevue. 69-51 is going to be the final as 2-1 buzzer off. Game over. Trojans end their regular season 23-5 and go 13-1 in North Star Conference play. Three-peat for them, regular season champs in North Star Conference action. 3 straight years they've won it in the regular season. Will they be able to win it for back-to-back years in the postseason? We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. Come back with your Mustang Seeds post-game show here on Jammin' Country 103. it felt like back-to-back three-pointers essentially for her. She was 3 for 5 from beyond the arc as they continue the senior night presentations. And they're getting ready to do seniors stuff for the men's team. We will be carrying the men's game on the way after this one here on Jammin' Country 103. We'll get the men's game on the way. There's a lot going on here on the court, just trying to time everything up right. Well, we're still continuing on with the Mustang Seeds post-game show for the women's team, who got the 69-51 victory over the Bellevue Bruins. And turnovers were an issue for the Trojans early on. Bellevue ended up committing more turnovers. They had 26 compared to 20 for Dakota State. Shooting-wise, Dakota State's field goal percentage definitely picked up in that second half. They finished 25 of 61, 41% shooting for them. Bellevue was 19 of 53, 35.8% shooting for them. Free throws, it seemed like free throws were such a problem for both these teams because they were hitting about 50% from the free throw line. That's not ideal. 8 of 15 for the Bruins, 10 of 20 for Dakota State. Dakota State led by as much as 20 points. Actually, heck, they led by 19. Bruins brought it back within as much as 3 at one point. Or was it 2? It was very close, and it seemed like, oh, this could be where the Bruins start to take over. And then the Trojans just closed out that second half. Or they closed out the game strong. They closed out the game with their head on fire, essentially. And they ended up getting the 69-51 victory, winning by 18 against Bellevue. They weren't able to put up the 70 points that they usually are able to, but Bellevue did as good of a job as they could defensively. Just when the Trojans were streaking, they were streaking very well. And Bellevue, tough matchup. And if these two teams play again, I'm sure Bellevue is going to once again try to give them everything they have. This is probably going to be a good matchup if these two teams see each other in the postseason. Just Trojans had all the momentum going in their direction when they needed it. At times, the momentum was in Bellevue's direction. That's when Bellevue was able to start making comebacks. But at the end, to close it out, it was Dakota State. What else we got here? That's pretty much it here on our Mustang Seeds post-game show. So let's wrap it up here with the Mustang Seeds post-game show brought to you by Mustang Seeds. Maximum potential yield with valuable service and products. Mustang Seeds, a proven leader for over 55 years. A reminder that on the way next, we've got the Dakota State men's basketball team hosting Bellevue coming up at the bottom of the hour. Actually, probably do a pregame shortly after they do their senior day introductions and do all the senior night stuff for the men's team, and also on our AM station, Dakota's Best AM 1390 this evening, as it just got really quiet. We've got Madison girls hosting McCook Central Montrose. That one starting in about half an hour or so, about 7:30 p.m. That one, Matt Gross on the call there from Madison for the Madison girls game. That one on Dakota's Best AM 1390 can also be heard, of course, through the iHeartMedia and Aussie apps and online at AmazingMadison.com. Let's take a 5-minute break. Come back in 5 minutes with the start of the men's game. We'll get you ready for your F&M pregame show coming up in 5 minutes for the men's team on Jammin' Country 103.
blow out a lot of teams. They're not going to beat a lot of teams by many points. They're going to be.
You want to talk to her first?
Victories here in North Conference games, but then in the final minute, coming down to the end, they did get a 80-64 victory against Presentation a couple weekends ago. But you look at many of the games.
It was a lot of fun. It's honestly just an honor that I had the chance. But I couldn't have done it without like my awesome teammates and my coaching staff that believes in me every day. And even some days, like, it's really hard and I don't have a lot of confidence in myself, but I know that my coaches and my teammates always have my back. The game tonight was super fun. It always feels good to beat Bellevue, especially like it's kind of a revenge game, and I'd say beating them by 20 was really needed today. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Yeah, I always love taking down the nets. That always feels good. That's always one of the best parts of the season.
Yeah, you know, it was a typical Dakota State Bellevue game. You know, both teams are, you know, they play really hard, and it's a rivalry. You know, we've played them really tough the last 2 or 3 years. Every game has been very, very close. And you know, at halftime we just talked about, let's get back to doing what we do. Let's just do what we do. And I thought we played really hard coming out of the third quarter. It helped to finally make some jump shots, you know, coming out of halftime. But we knew Bellevue wasn't going to go away. You know, we got up by like 16 and they cut it back to, you know, 2 or whatever it was. We knew that it was going to be a battle, but we always know that the fourth quarter is our quarter. And I'm really, really proud of the way that our team responded in the fourth quarter. And they really finished the game doing what we do as Trojans. And it was a really fun game, great atmosphere. Trojan Nation came out. It was so much fun. And, you know, anytime you can cut nets down on your home floor and be conference champions, can't beat that. So it was an awesome night. Yeah, you know, this is the time you prepare for. You know, playoff basketball is the best time of the year. And, you know, it's so much fun to have seniors like Elsie and Courtney and Sid and Savannah who, you know, they're not going to go away quietly. You know, they're gonna leave it on the floor. We have PC coming in on Tuesday, and that's going to be a battle. You know, they're coming in. That could be their last game in school history, you know. And so they're coming in. We're going to have a battle on our hands, and then hopefully if we're lucky enough to win at home, then we go on to Watertown, and then it just comes down to who's ready for the moment. You know, I do think that our team has prepared themselves all year long for this moment, and I'm so excited to see how these seniors leave their legacy on this program. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Very talented sophomore. You can shoot from just about anywhere. He's going to attack you from anywhere on the court. But Sean Kelly is rolling. That's one thing that you really don't need.